So I guess where do you start? You know, how do you even begin a yoga practice? What even gets you to the mat in the morning? Well, I can honestly say, if you're a person that's ready for change, you want to experience something new in your life, you might want to open up sides of yourself that you never knew were even there, but there's a little inkling that there's something for you to discover. If you want to feel a bit more peaceful, a bit more lovable to yourself, more present, more aware, more forgiving, happier, all of these things, then yoga's for you, you know. But it's an action thing, because first of all it's got to happen in your mind. I found before I hit my yoga practice, you know, consistently, I had to go through a process in my mind and decide that was the road I was going to take. And I started doing a yoga practice just one day a week, which was great for me at that time, because it was all I needed, and it was what I needed to just propel me forwards. And that 1 hour a week really set me up beautifully, and it just made me feel more kind of stabilized, you know, within myself. So what I would suggest, if you're intending on starting a yoga practice, just start a little bit at a time. And please don't think about yoga like you have to be able to put your leg around the back of your neck, or you're going to have to be able to contort your body in some outrageous position to qualify you to come to class. No. Just come as you are. Exactly as you are is perfect. Honestly, it's beautiful that you've even just decided that you're going to take on a yoga practice. You know, that's the beauty right there. That's the seed. So you're going to grow from there. And then just decide over a few weeks or a few days, or however long it's going to take you to decide what morning you're going to start, or what evening you're going to start, or even in fact what afternoon, when and where. That's a really important thing. So find somewhere quiet in your home or in your workspace or outside, somewhere where you really like, you feel comfortable, you feel like you're not going to have a bag of people watching you, or just make it yours, and then decide that that's where it's going to be, and then make your decision as to when you're going to do it. Would you prefer to do it in the morning? Are you a morning person? Would you prefer more of an evening class? You know, you're not so active in the mornings. Decide for yourself, because it's your journey, you know. And then when you decide when you're going to do it, then decide what you know, what you're going to wear. You know, you're going to have your water beside you. Just really prepare yourself, so there's no excuse for you to sort of say, oh, I couldn't do my yoga practice because I just couldn't figure out what to wear, and the time was that I had to go, or oh, I just was like really tired, I just couldn't get up. You've already decided, so commit to yourself. Commit to yourself. And honestly, if it's a morning practice, it may feel like the hardest thing ever to get out of your bed and go straight onto that yoga mat. Honestly, until you're used to it, it really might feel like the hardest thing. But trust me, that medicine that you get from coming out of your bed onto that yoga mat, it's like the sun, when the sun comes up in the morning and you get that beautiful moment of sunlight that is like vitamins and food and nurture to your being. That's what it's kind of like. So don't feel away if after you've done your little yoga practice, I mean, you know, you can come and join me in class at any time. You know, I'd be happy to, you know, take you through a yoga practice. There are other teachers out there that will take you through practices wherever it feels right for you. Just work with what feels right for you. And then the next day, don't feel no way if your muscles feel a little bit sore. and your body's like, oh my goodness, what happened to me yesterday? It's going to, because it's something very new. You're going to be waking up tiny little muscles around the body, different sensations. Your body's going to lengthen and widen and be poised in a different kind of way than it had been before. So it's okay for you to feel these things. So don't let that put you off. Just go through those feelings, and then the next time you get on the mat, you're going to find that you're going to be even stronger. Okay, so thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Let me know how you're feeling. Connect with me. I'll get back to you. Leave a comment in the box below. And lots and lots of love. I'll see you on the yoga mat. Love you. Namaste. So hi everyone. This morning I was on the mat at 5:30. I literally try my best to roll out of bed. And the very first thing I do, the first action of the morning, is to go onto the mat. Obviously if I need to go to the bathroom, I do that first, but that's my first port of call. I really avoid picking up my phone or going onto the laptop straight away in the morning, because you know what that does? When we do that, that actually sets up a program for distraction and an addiction. So we really want to be addicted to the things that are really going to be much more beneficial to us, you know, like a yoga practice. So that's my thing, that's what I like to do. And I did an hour this morning, which seemed to fly by, which was nice. Sometimes my practice feels like it's long, depends on where I am in my head. So if I'm struggling to get to the mat, for example, because sometimes it is a bit like that, there's a lot of resistance that comes up sometimes, and I try to work with that, and so if in my head I'm like, oh god, I don't really want to be doing this or whatever, but I'm still doing it, it feels like it's really long. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. When you're really like into something, it goes by very quickly. For the most part, I'm obviously into my yoga practice, but just, you know, being human, there are resistance that come up, and these are the things I work through. The resistance within myself that causes the resistance in the things that I want to manifest in my life, and it helps me to get over those things, get over those resistance, so that I can actually really bring in, manifest the things that I actually truly really want. So I've been doing a daily practice now for consistently, I'd say for about 3 months now. It's taken me all this time to actually just get myself onto the mat consistently every morning at 6 o'clock or 6:30. You know, it's a real head preparation, it's a head thing, you know, and I've had to really work on, you know, finding myself in that routine, because what my issues are is when I do a practice in the morning, I often, even though I do feel energized, but by the time like 10, 11 comes, I want to like sleep again. I'm like, oh, I want to go back to bed, and then I kind of lay down, and then it's lunchtime, and then I wake up and then it's lunchtime, make myself some food, and then I've got to do some stuff on the laptop, and I do some stuff on the laptop, and then, you know, and then it kind of goes into that evening zone. And yeah, sometimes I like to rest a lot when I've done a practice, because it's quite deep. But that's not always possible, because I have work, I have things to do in the day. You know, sometimes I have to go out, sometimes I have clients, I have yoga classes that I'm doing, I have stiletto classes, I'm singing in the studio. I'm always doing something to expand my empire and the brand. So yeah, it's really about that work-life balance. I'm sure you've all heard that saying before, work-life balance. Trying to find that balance between, you know, taking care of myself, working, keeping my consciousness high, my environment uplifted. I mean, it's all of these things juggling to get that right perspective in life. So yeah, join me in yoga. Please feel free, come and join me on the mat. Visit my website www.shebawine.com. Please remember to subscribe to my comment. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and feel free to leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Let me know how you're feeling. Are you into yoga? Are you not into yoga? Have you tried yoga before? Do you have all these different ideals of what yoga is? Do you find that when you do yoga you feel better, you feel worse? What goes on? Let me know. I'll just be interested, and then I can feed back some of these stories and the journeys that I've been on with my yoga practice, and hopefully it will help you along your way. I'm still on my journey, of course, but anything that I've been through, if there's anything that I can share to help anybody, please feel free. Ask me and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Lots and lots of love. Blessings and kisses to you all. So the thing about a yoga practice, people often say, oh well, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. Well, you kind of got it round back to front, because you come to yoga in the state that you're in. Wherever you're at is actually perfect, and the more you practice opening up the body, the more the body will open up, and the more the body opens up, so the mind and the spirit, it all works in one accord. This is a union, and that's what yoga really is. It's a union. It's a beautiful self-union, that you go within yourself, your inner journeys, and finding all those gems and jewels and majestic beauty inside ourselves, and then that emanates, and then we've just got this magnetic, beautiful, experiential life that we lead, with Source expressing itself on just a multifaceted level. So yoga helps us to get in line with our emotions. It helps us to get in line with spiritually where we are, and also physically where we are. I've had to work on, lower back issues a lot, hip opening issues, and it's challenging sometimes, because you really feel it in your body. Okay, just say for example you've had like a lower back issue, and you've had this issue for a long time, and it comes and it goes, and sometimes it's worse than others, but it's continually kind of there, and time's gone by and it's getting worse and worse, and it's kind of just there nagging. And it's like, in order to actually deal with this condition, because that condition is resulted from something that's going on in the emotion and in the spirit, it's just manifesting itself in the body. So in order to deal with that, there are certain routes that we have to take in order to deal with it and actually overcome it. It's a journey. So you might find that if you do a forward bend, for example, in a yoga practice, and you feel that your back is way stiff, and it's like, wow, that's way stiff. And you find yourself that you can just breathe into that and just ease into it and just let it go a little bit, and then it just ease and breathe, and suddenly you might just get that window of heaven, divinity, that just makes you feel like, wow, that was such a beautiful experience. And I as a teacher, I can't tell you what your experience is going to be, because it's entirely your experience. I only know what my experience feels like when I do a forward bend and I go to release my hips, and if I have tightness in my hips and I have to release that, only I know what that feels like. So it's your own journey, and that's the beauty, because you're going to feel your own progress every time you hit this mat. You're going to feel yourself progress more and more and more, and that's actually a really good feeling. So for somebody suffering low self-esteem, this is a great way to build self-esteem, because every time you come off that mat, I know for myself, every time I come off the mat, I give myself a little pat on the back, and I'm like, you know what, Aishiba? Big up yourself. You made it to the mat today. You made a difference in your life. That means you can make a difference in the world. Big up yourself. Discipline. Discipline is a thing, If you imagine a child or a mind or any scenario that doesn't have a discipline to it, it can be a madness, really. And for me, yoga helps me to build a discipline. Like, it gives me something to work within, and it helps me to focus on a road that I want to travel, that is enchanted and filled with wonder and excitement, and infinite possibilities. And yoga gives me that opportunity, because I've done the religious thing, you know, I've done the Christian thing, and I've done the Muslim thing, and I've done the Buddhist thing. I've done, you know, I've worked my way through a lot of these religions, and you know, and I love a lot of it. But the things that I find resonate with me the most is the ideal of coming back to myself, coming back to my inner goddess, you know, and work on my inner journey. Because, you know, when we're just fed to feed on the external, like the external is designed to become our world, then I think we're subject to derail, because I'm going to be pulling on everything external to make me happy and fulfilled and joyous and contained and loved and supported and all of these things. Well, in actual fact, all of that is just an illusion, because it doesn't actually contribute to who I really, really am, and that love and that center and that peace. If I can find that within myself, then whether or not I have money in the bank, whether or not I have a man in my life, whether or not I have food in the cupboard, whether or not I drive a fancy car, whether or not I live in the biggest house, it makes no difference, because I've got a contentment inside, like a genuine contentment. Now, where does one have to be within themselves to actually reach that plateau, you know, like where none of it matters other than that internal state of being? You know, where do we have to be? Well, I can't answer that question right now, because I'm still on that journey, you know, and I'm still experiencing. So all I know is that the more I get onto my mat, and the more I can focus and energize and balance and breathe and remember who I am and connect, is the better chance I have to continually living a life that I really want to live, you know, and like genuinely put my hand on my heart and say, I'm happy, you know, because I can look inside of myself genuinely and heal those monsters and heal that pain and let go of that jealousy and let go of that hatred and rise up and live in a world within myself that is a higher dimension, a higher version of myself. And I think that is really my goal. Yeah.